Go.
We are at the movies with Matt and Ryan. Still on the podcast.
What do you mean
December
still
28th.
on the podcast? What the heck are you talking about?
Still doing the podcast till
Well, it's not
mid-January.
really a podcast. About podcast.
Sort of is.
This is a YouTube review. It's a.
Same thing.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Jesus. Well, I don't think this is gonna be good. But today's review, we are reviewing the movie Passengers, starring Chris Pratt, Jennifer Lawrence, and Michael Sheen. Lawrence Fishburne is in it too. So, uh, Ryan, do you want to do a little synopsis? A little.
I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
So Chris Pratt. Well, first it's directed by the guy from Imitation
Morton
Game, right?
Tildum directing
Yeah.
it.
So I mean, it looks like it's gonna be a good movie, but the synopsis is so Chris Pratt is on this. The character, Chris Pratt's character, is on this ship.
Well,
That's
wait. I feel like you're gonna spoil something, so I'll do the synopsis. So,
I guess,
there's a ship going to
that's just
a new planet. Both Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence's characters wake up, and then the ship's kind of malfunctioning, and they have to kind of work together and fix it. Like that's literally the whole movie.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I guess for what was called a movie, I don't know how to
All
describe it,
right,
but
but yeah, that's pretty much it. And Morton Tildum, who did The Imitation Game and Headhunters, and a couple other foreign movies, directed this. He's pretty good. He got a Best Director nomination. But Ryan, do you want to start with your thoughts?
yeah, it was definitely one of those movies that were the funny bad movies of the year. Definitely in the top five for funny, awful. But I mean, you look at the cast, you look at the director, you think, oh, this could be like somewhat good. I mean, how can you screw this up? But they did. It was an hour and 40 minutes of a love story, and then it was 15 minutes of actual conflict and trying to, do what they needed to do to get to the finale. But it was a mess. Jennifer Lawrence was not good in it. Chris Pratt was okay. The only thing I would say that was good was Michael Sheen's character. I thought like the scenes with him were fine, like in the bar, but
Um,
it was a mess.
I think Morton Tildum was kind of a director for hire here. Like, he's directed a lot of like smaller movies, so they're like, here's a big salary. Like, all right, I get it. People need to pay the mortgage and stuff, so good for him for making the cash. But like, if the movie's competently directed, it's just I hated this movie. It'll be on my worst of list for sure. And I just I like the first 10 to 15 minutes, like actually a good deal, because it's mostly just Chris Pratt who can be charming and can be kind of fun to watch be himself and be silly and all that. And Michael Sheen's character, who's an android. I mean, it's not like the most original character ever, but he's kind of interesting, and he has good banner with Pratt. So like the movie starts off okay, and then like the Titanic, the ship just sinks, and it sinks fast. The story goes absolutely nowhere,
Yeah,
and a lot of like there really is no story. Like the movie just kind of meanders from scene to scene, and then with like a half hour left, they're like, oh my god, we gotta do this. Like it just feels like the most tacked on thing ever. Like they spent no time actually developing a story. Like it just like
uh,
we need conflict, so let's throw one in. Like
it wasn't even just a story. The characters weren't developed at all, and I've never seen a worse use of a character like Lawrence Fishburne, who's kind of I guess, a sci-fi veteran. I guess you could say.
he's a respected actor, and
Yeah,
he's
he's a
literally in
respect.
this
He,
movie for 10 minutes, and
Yeah, and
he's
he's
just
no
plot.
use. Like you can have a look at Manchester by the Sea. There's characters that are in for 6 minutes, but they're used effectively. Lawrence Fishburne was not used effectively at all in this movie.
And then
He was,
Andy Garcia's in the movie for one shot.
yeah,
You don't even talk.
it's just
So
a waste of a budget, in my
like you
opinion.
see his name in the credits, like he was in one shot. I think the same that shot was in the trailer. In the
Yeah,
trailer, you see the all of Andy Garcia, one shot. But
that's that's how you get people to the theater, though. That's probably why.
my there's something that happens in the first third that is just it makes the what happens after it just creepy. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it, but the way they handle the romance, it feels very just icky. There's an icky
Yeah.
feeling to it. It's just like, no, don't, please. Like, it had me cringing a lot of time, and it made like Chris Pratt, who's usually a very likable actor, kind of like,
Yeah.
uh,
Weird.
yeah, it made him kind of a weirdo. But like, I still like his. At least they spend some, give the character some like reflection about like the decision he makes. But
Yeah.
it's a little unforgivable. And then I mean I have a hot take. I don't think Jennifer Lawrence is like a good movie star. Like she's very cold and kind of, like a lot of her like great performances like Silver Linings Playbook and American Hustle, she's kind of more cynical and she's kind of more of a supporting player. As a movie star, she's just very like she's very drab and boring in this movie. She doesn't do anything fun. She doesn't have a lot of charisma. So, like, I can't believe they paid her more than Chris Pratt to be in this movie. I'm all for equal pay, but she literally brings nothing to the movie. She's just Jennifer Lawrence. She just brings the name.
I think she was a star in Joy. She had a lot of like scenes that were like when she was in the house and she was running around, like that was all about her. Like I
Yeah,
think
but
she was a pretty
she's
big
not
star.
someone who can just be in a movie and they make
Yeah,
something
about
out of
her.
it, no
Yeah,
matter what the script is, no matter what the surrounding parts is. It seems like if the property isn't bringing its best, she sinks to the level of that property. Like X-Men, she's really like just kind of boring in those movies.
yeah,
Like I think people studios are gonna realize she's not like a traditional movie star. She's not someone you can just put in these movies and kind of gives you that spark, that charisma. I think Chris Pratt is. I think Chris Pratt always
yeah. He's
brings
like,
kind of his personality to movies. He's likable. He's decent to watch. I mean, he's not. This is definitely one of his like weaker starring performances, but he at least brings something to it.
like as
And
bad
what are you gonna say?
like as bad as Jurassic World was, he was still pretty good
Uh,
in it.
yeah,
Yeah, he was
he's
still good in
okay.
it. Like
He's okay. But
he's always in those big blockbuster movies.
yeah,
That's,
but him and Jennifer Lawrence have zero chemistry together, and that's really the heart of the movie is their kind of love story or whatever. Them trying to find out what to do, and it's a shame because it's like the whole movie is being marketed as the two biggest movie stars in Hollywood, and together it's flat. Like it's just really flat, and it makes a lot of what happens really boring to watch.
yeah, like I said, it's hard to mess this up. I mean, well, I guess it's not hard, but I mean, you look at the cast and everything. You think, oh, this will probably be good. And the script was really poorly written. There's a lot of awkward scenes. I feel like, which is never good in a movie. You don't want a movie like this where you're laughing nonstop. Um, I mean, we were the only ones laughing in the theater, but I mean,
Well, I just wanted it to be competent. Like it wasn't even
yeah,
like the script is honestly one of the worst this year because not only does it not have a story, it doesn't develop these characters well. It's not really that funny. It's not like emotional. Like what's the genre? I know it's science fiction, but there's nothing funny about it. There's nothing dramatic. It just kind
yeah,
of exists. And
yeah,
it's so weird that both Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence like signed up to be in this movie. It's like,
yeah.
did you guys read the script? Like
Yeah,
what?
it's hard to take the endings seriously, or it's
Well,
hard to take any conflict seriously in this movie.
I like the direction they go with in the ending. Like I kind of like what they do, but if I didn't care, so it was like
Yeah,
whatever. Like I just kind of shrugged it off. But yeah, I thought this was gonna be like mediocre. I didn't think it was gonna be that good because the reviews weren't really strong. But I think I'm like, okay, you have this cast, you have a decent director. Show me what you got, and it wasn't even competent. Like
yeah,
I thought halfway through, like, okay, I wonder what this movie's kind of cool plot twist is going to be. I hope they take kind of an interesting spin on the story. The movie doesn't even have a plot twist. Like, it
no,
just kind of like stuff just happens.
very generic.
Yeah,
It wasn't
very generic
it
and
wasn't
lazy.
original at all. The ending wasn't original. I don't know. I guess the middle was original. None of it was original in my
It's
opinion.
very lazy. Just
Yeah,
lazy screenwriting at its most worst level. So I hated that. In I never check like my phone like for the time at ever
Yeah.
like never ever ever. I checked my phone and we weren't even an hour into the movie. That's how like that is like a new world
Yeah.
record for me because like it was. I don't know. Aside from the first 15 minutes, there's very little redeemable
Yeah.
about this movie.
I felt like they were trying to stretch the movie out to its 2 hour mark, and they were trying to find some ways to do that, and it just didn't work out.
I see that I was talking about this before the movie, but you have Jennifer Lawrence and Chris Pratt. Why have them in a stupid science fiction? Like, have them just have like a rom com or something. Why feel the need to have this like kind of half baked science fiction story that makes no sense? That isn't even like a full story. It just feels like a waste of their time. Like give them a chance to kind of be likable to be together, or do something interesting. Like.
Yeah. But again, they didn't have chemistry in this movie, so how are they gonna have chemistry in a
Well, I
rom-com?
feel like with the right script they could. I feel like I don't know. It's just the dialogue. It wasn't ever like funny. I mean, the movie was just painful.
Yeah.
It became after like after the first 15 minutes, and then I'm like, okay, it might go somewhere. Once I realized it wasn't going anywhere interesting, it became a painful watch.
Yeah. It was funny, like the first hour was funny, then it just got boring and I was waiting to leave.
Well, I think you say it's funny bad, but I don't think it is because the elements we found funny, the movie doesn't actually do. We just kind of made that up. Like that's not what a funny bad movie. A funny bad movie, it's just so bad it's funny. Like nothing. I don't know. I don't think this movie was that like funny
I thought
bad.
the script was funny.
At
I thought
parts.
some of the things they were saying, I was like, what? Or some of the things Chris Pratt was doing, like you said, you don't want to spoil it, but some of the things he was doing was like the creepiness part.
Yeah, and that was so you could have any writer could have reworked it to make him not look creepy. Like it wasn't that hard. I came up with something in like 5 seconds. I had to change that and make his character far more likable and relatable. Like it's just weird. Like whatever. Can we go into ratings? I'm sick of talking about this movie.
Yeah, I give it a 4 out of 10.
A 4. Like
entertainment value. If I'm entertained, I factor into that.
You were entertained that last hour. You were entertained.
I was.
I saw you
for
check.
Most of it.
I no,
It
you
funny.
were.
I checked the time. Yeah,
Oh god.
it was like the last half hour though.
I give it a 2, and that might be being generous. It might be more of a 1.5, but yeah, I guess I'll go 2 because I like.
It's on the bubble for worst movie of the year. But
it's on my list. It don't.
For top 10.
Pencil it in right next to whatever Jason Bourne, whatever you want to pencil it in next to. It'll be there, but
Right on.
yeah, something like that. But yeah, that's our review for Passengers. Don't see it. Go see Manchester or anything else really. But we'll be back with more reviews later this week. Hope you have a good week. Subscribe, like, all that, and enjoy your day.
See you guys.